Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's the SCB Steelers Podcast presented by Deck Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. We are very proud to be part of the Variety Sports Network. And, of course, the show is coming to you live from the Frank Walker Law Studio. Thank you, Ben, for the routine cracking of the beverage there. I have some new headphones on, and literally they're like the kind you'd wear almost when you're mowing the lawn. I mean, I have total noise reduction, and I it's just odd because normally I can hear everything else. But anyway, we'll get through it. Welcome into the guys. Hopefully it's been a good week for you fellas. And I see the New York Football Giants are giving the Eagles everything they can have handled tonight, which is always fun. It is the NFL after all. And I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that we have 6, I believe, actually 7. I think Cliff joined in tonight too. We have 7 new members, and you can, you can jump in either as a black member or a gold member. And gold member, of course, you can fire in your Austin Powers jokes there. In any case, we've got a couple of pretty cool things coming down the road for members. And one of which I need to talk to Scarps about. He doesn't know about this yet, but I'll talk to him.
Volunteered him for something.
I talked to him a little bit later. Well, he really doesn't have to do anything, quite frankly. It's pretty straightforward. So anyway, welcome in everybody, and we survived the bye week. I hope everybody, of course, enjoyed their time with the family at the pumpkin patch and all that wonderful stuff, because that's what we do on Sundays when the Steelers aren't playing. Well, no, that's not true. Well, some it is, I guess. Hi, Deb. Deb is in. Deb is one of our new members.
Hey, Deb.
And thank you to her. But anyway, I'm going to get right to it here. Ben, all 4 of us, according to this document right here, all 4 of us had the Baltimore Ravens winning the AFC North. Mm-hmm. Do you still believe they will win the AFC North?
Yes.
Ryan, do you believe they will win the AFC North?
I think there's a decent chance that they will do it. Their schedule lightens up. Our schedule gets harder. They will get healthier. Mm-hmm. Who knows where we're going to be? And then also, too, I think it's important that the books still have the Ravens as favorites.
They do. They do indeed.
And usually when the books have – the house always wins. So I don't know why they would, even if they're 1-5 after this week, I still think they have a legit chance of going 10-7. And who knows, like, one game at a time.
That's right.
So just as much as they could go 10-7, the Steelers could go 7-10. Who knows? You never know. But yes, I still think they have a good chance of doing it.
Okay. And
I
Ian?
think go ahead.
Well, Ian, let me get your take. Do the Ravens end up winning the division as all 4 of us predicted?
Yes. And I think because, as Ryan mentioned with the schedule, that the Ravens have lost games to some pretty good opponents so far. I think everyone they've lost to made the playoffs last year, whereas we barely beat 2 teams that were picking in the top 10 of the draft last year. Now, granted, the Patriots beat the Bills, and so that win looks a little better.
Looks a little
Vikings,
better, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Vikings aren't a bad team, but we're playing a backup quarterback. So, nevertheless, you can go ahead and drink. Already 5 minutes into the show.
There's this first nevertheless.
Mm-hmm. The Ravens' schedule gets much easier. We still have to play the Bills, the Lions, the Packers, the Ravens twice.
Yep.
No matter how big of a lead we have, it could evaporate very quickly down the stretch.
Yeah, and there's going to be a physical toll taken by playing the other 2 AFC North teams. I mean, I know they're not the Ohio teams are not good this year, Cleveland and Cincy, but there's still going to be there's a brand of football played in the AFC North that is very physical and takes a toll on you physically, beats you up. I think what's going to happen, though, is the Steelers are probably going to finish the first 8 games and be like 6-2 and winning the division, and people are going to believe that they're better than they actually are, and lose their goddamn minds when they go 10-7.
It seems like we've been there before, haven't we?
Yeah,
we talked about this. Go ahead,
I will say this again and again and again and again. This is not a good roster. It's not good. Okay, it ain't. It's a bunch of young kids with potential, which is the French word for hasn't done anything yet.
Yep.
And a bunch of old guys that are past their prime on short-term contracts. And a handful of stars sprinkled in so we can have hope. This is not.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah. The 2008 teams were loaded. For example, that team was fucking loaded. Even when we had what was pretty much a shitty offensive line.
Yeah,
we still had talent on offense, and we had a juggernaut on defense. I mean, you had good guys at every single position. The guys that were just okay were really good.
You know, something that we should do sometime. And I'm kind of thinking way wrong here because we probably could have done it last week, but you know, we should really go back and look like at the 2008 roster and just look at the depth and kind of compare it to the depth of the teams right now. You know,
I mean, Lawrence Timmons was a backup on that team.
Right. That's exactly what I'm getting at is when you look at that, just how much it's changed in terms of our perspective, in terms of what we think good depth is versus what good depth really is. But
so 20 years since we won Super Bowl 40 as well.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. It's just, I can't believe it's been that long.
I would equate it to this. You know, we had great depth at every position or good depth at every position, but we had great depth at linebacker. We have great depth at tight end this year. You've got Pat Freiermuth, who is effectively a backup tight end now. He could be a starter. He could be a starter. He could.
Yeah.
On this team and on other teams, he could be that guy. I don't want them to trade him. I hope they don't. But that's the same kind of deal. I mean, Lawrence Timmons was a backup on the 2000 team, and the dude was crazy talented. And I'm not saying that Freiermuth is that talented, but it's that kind of a comparison in terms of depth where you have multiple starters. You just can't get all those guys on the field at the same time.
Yeah, no,
I don't think Cole Holcomb is in. I don't think Cole Holcomb is in the same class with Lawrence Timmons either. So
it's probably something maybe for next off season just to go back and look at and just kind of revisit that a little bit. I was
one other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to throw out there that to Ben's point about. We could very easily start 6-2 and then wind up 10-7 or whatever. We've all been talking about that since the schedule came out, and we saw the back half of the schedule. And we were like, this team could very easily start 7-1, 6-2, and then go 1-7 down the stretch, like very easily with the schedule. Now, granted, there's been some injuries and whatnot,
and there will be injuries,
right? But we've avoided some injuries too. So,
sure.
Right now, we have the only healthy starting quarterback in the AFC North, which is kind of hard to believe.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah, the oldest dude, and he's the only starter left standing right now.
Yeah. Behind arguably one of the worst offensive lines. This side of Cincinnati.
Crossing my fingers. By the way, what are you guys drinking tonight, Ben? What do you got?
Tequila and Pacifico.
Tequila, very good. A little Pacifico. It's always a fine choice. Scarps, what are you drinking this evening?
I'm a little under the weather, so why not add to my? Is it I can't even think of the word. I'm just. This is called.
Feel worse. You're drinking White Claw.
This is called Alien Church, and I really like the design here.
That is fantastic.
This is from Tired Hands Brewing. From Ardmore, PA.
Wow. What a great looking can that is.
Alien Church.
That's what he said.
I'm a fucking alien.
Oh, man. That's a great design. Ian, what do you got going tonight?
I've still got a little of the Oktoberfest left in the keg, so I'm polishing that off. And then we've got some Redemption Rye because why not?
Yeah, Redemption Rye is never a bad choice.
It's just so delicious. I've got some myself tonight, and I've got a little. What do I have? I have another IPA here going from Founders for a little later on here. But
cool.
Man,
you guys are drinking a lot.
Well, we shall see. Yeah, so getting back to the Steelers, obviously the bye week is, man, we have 13 straight games, and you look back at the history of the Steelers in the bye weeks. They've had some pretty good success when they've had an early bye week, believe it or not. And then you look at coming off the bye, there are some scary numbers when you look at trends and stuff. Tomlin has a pretty good record off the bye. The Steelers in general have a good record off the bye. You throw in the fact that we're really, really good against rookie quarterbacks, and all the trends this week seem to be in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which of course scares the shit out of me and probably everybody else. But what did you guys
lose anyway? Because
I
have been, and they,
Well, yeah. We'll get to that. But Ben, did you have a chance to watch the Browns and the?
I got up at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning so I could watch that live. Yeah, I wanted to watch kickoff at 6:30 here. Fuck no, I did not watch it. Have I watched some of it since? Yes, I've watched a little bit of the All 22. I have.
Okay, all right.
Offensively, the Browns still look disjointed. Defensively, they're still really fucking good.
Yeah.
No surprise. It's get 8 guys in the box, just typical Jim Schwartz defense, and let's see what happens and react to it and try and cover and also take away the run. So basically, what they're trying to do is beat you on first and second down, so that on third down they can do whatever they want. And to this point, they've been successful. So I think we're going to see a lot of, against this defense, we're going to see a lot of short precision passes. Short routes, Jonnu, DK. I don't know who this number 2 wide receiver is now. Do we know? Do we have any idea? Scotty Miller? Is it Scotty Miller?
One of the things I had.
Will Roman Wilson get any snaps this week?
Right. Whether Roman Wilson and if not him, are we talking Scotty Miller? Are we talking more Ben Skoranek? I
like me some Skoranek.
Maybe the $50 million tight end could get involved a little bit.
He's got to get on the field.
Jonnu Smith makes just as much. One and number 2, he's better in the passing game than Freiermuth. So people are talking about how, the Steelers are afraid to play Freiermuth to his strengths. His strengths are what a guy in the same room does better than him. Why the fuck would you put Freiermuth on the field when you only have room for one more tight end and the other guy's better in the pass game? Jonnu Smith is going to play. Effectively, Freiermuth's been demoted. Sorry, it is what it is. It's going to be the same thing this week. Tomlin admitted it. He's like, look, we're probably going to run more of the same heavy sets and try and bash these guys. It's not realistic to try and block those guys in the run game with smaller tight ends. And it's not.
Well, and to KR's point, talking about a 4-3-D, it's not just your traditional 4-3. It's that wide 9 that Schwartz likes.
It's the wide 9 that Schwartz likes to run. And, you run outside zone versus that, and that's how you have some success.
Scarps, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with Ben. I think their defense is still good. Even Tomlin talked about that, and Mike's a good football mind. I trust him, but also too, as long as you're not, a hater or a yinzer, I think you could appreciate that.
You're a hater.
The Browns have a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
They realistically should have won last week. The Vikings are a banged up team. They did some good things on defense. Dillon Gabriel's sort of like a Kenny Pickett type, although Gabriel had a lot more better college seasons, but he's older. He sees things. I think he's gonna take the safe throws, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it puts more pressure on us to tackle. And I think that's going to be a big deal this weekend.
I think he had like 4.5 yards per attempt average last week.
Well, yes, he did. But you know what? Aaron Rodgers is also not pushing the ball downfield either.
No.
He's
he's
last. No,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not comparing the two. I'm not comparing the two in terms of skill set.
Right.
I'm just saying that, for example, we're also not pushing the ball downfield. Tomlin talked about Gabriel's above the net game. I think that's going to be important. We really don't do that great against tight ends, and they have two pretty decent ones, the Njoku and then Fannin. And then Quinshon Judkins, obviously his legal matters are sorted out.
Looked pretty good last week.
He looks pretty good too. I think the Browns are. It's okay. As we're looking right here's a perfect example right now. We got an NFC East matchup where you're like, yeah, Philly's going to win this game, and they're down 10 late in the fourth quarter. And you know what? They still might win the game, but each week is a challenge. There are no guarantees in football, and I am critical, and I do like style points, which I'm probably wrong for doing that. But I think the Browns, despite being historically bad and they're bad this year, they probably should have won last week. So
I thought so too.
But they're the Browns, so they find a way to lose. Because
exactly.
They're Cleveland.
True.
Yeah. 1,000,000%.
I'm not saying I think this is going to be a close game. I do, and it shouldn't be on paper. The Steelers should blow them out. But what's going to happen is the Steelers are going to come out and try and establish the run. The Browns are going to try and stop it, and the Steelers are going to throw over the box in the middle, on the outside, short, and we're going to get a lot of yak yards, and people are not going to like it. It's going to be the same fucking thing again, Average yard depth of target. Was that what it is?
Yeah.
Average depth target. It's going to be,
A-dot.
5-6 yards even. I think it's what's his? I think it's 6.6 is Rodgers' average depth of target.
I know
right
it was
now.
6 point something. Yeah,
Number of the beast.
Which it's not great, but whatever, man. The guy, he's doing enough to win. I'm fine with it. It's not great quarterback play, but he's 41 fucking years old. He's doing enough, and if we can establish the run, it will have a respectable offense with a bunch of young talent after Rodgers is gone. Okay, all right, this could work.
Ian, I have a kind of really out of the box question for you.
Yeah. If I have a response to Ben, but ask your question first.
Well, what I was going to ask is this: if you were, defensive coaches for the Steelers
On a desert island,
would you? Yeah. Would you take a look at the Ohio State versus Oregon Rose Bowl tape just to see what Ohio State did to Dillon Gabriel in that game?
I think it's worth looking at what kids did in college. I think they probably have scouted the quarterbacks a little bit. They scouted the defensive players. But the other thing they can do before looking at the tape is literally just ask Jack Sawyer, hey, what did you guys do against Dillon Gabriel? They have a guy in the room
Great point.
who was on that defense. So I think that's worthwhile. And not just that game, but Sawyer played them twice. Ohio State played them early in the season too. So there was 2 games that Sawyer has experience playing against Gabriel. And Don mentions the Big Ten championship game. Gabriel is efficient on those short passes. He sees the field pretty well, and he can get the ball to open guys in short areas. He's not going to push the ball down
like
the
a
field.
decade worth of games in
Well,
college.
the dude has played
Seriously.
a ton of football. No, he has, Ben. There's no denying the guy has
64 games in college. 64. Most guys who come to the NFL have fewer than 30 starts.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, and I think that speaks to why I think he was decent last week. Okay, It wasn't spectacular, but he didn't turn the ball over. And he was efficient. Yeah, and I think if I'm Cleveland right now, that's all I want him to do.
They were clearly him. Get the ball out fast.
Yeah.
Short passes, try and be efficient. And it worked a little ish. Hoping that their defense would stop the Vikings, and maybe I don't know. What I did for. I mean, it's Cleveland. They always find a way to fuck it up. They can't
They're
get out of their own
always
way.
a pain in the ass. I and say when in the comments made the comment about how tall or lack of height that Dillon Gabriel has. The Steelers are fantastic at knocking down passes at the line of scrimmage. I would literally, if somebody said what's the over under, I'd probably put it at 3, maybe even higher.
I mean, the dude's
they're gonna
what,
get hands
5'10"? Is he
If
5'10"?
that. Did you see the picture of him and Carson Wentz standing next to each other?
Yes. I was like, holy shit, dude.
It always,
is
it
that
always
Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray, who got concussed by a snap.
Scarps, what were you gonna say?
It always reminds me of Full Metal Jacket when the drill sergeant's like, "How tall are you?" He goes, 5'8". Sir, he goes, 5'8". I didn't know they stack shit that high. Yeah. To be fair though, Russ is 5'11", who's about to come in this game, and then Drew Brees is 5'11". But
Drew Brees
they had enough.
Is 5'11". You're right.
They had enough hands to get around the ball, unlike 6'3" Kenny Pickett midget Burger King hands. Fuck that guy wherever he is. You know what? I told you I was sick. I had a little Robitussin earlier, so whatever.
Oh, he's
he's
high on
the Robitussin.
Shots of Robitussin.
He's high on the Robitussin, and he's
there be no fussing when you're on the tussin. All right.
One other point I wanted to make.
Sorry, Ian.
No, that's fine. I actually forgot my point, and then I remembered it, so I'm glad you guys talked through it. You guys were mentioning Aaron Rodgers' ADOT, average depth of target. I think the one reason it doesn't concern me is because the offensive line play has been so bad. Like, you watch the tape, and Broderick Jones, Troy Fautanu, or one of the inside guys, somebody's getting beat on pretty much every pass play that he just has to get the ball out so quickly. He just doesn't have time to let those longer developing routes down the field get there. And, some of the longer throws he's made, he's still got the arm to do it. That cover 2 hole shot to Calvin Austin, right? Like, he's still got the arm to make
he's got
those
a
throws.
cannon. Yeah, I agree. You're right.
I'm not concerned. I think that the ADOT's more about the line than it is about Rodgers.
I would agree.
That's fair.
No, I would totally agree with that.
Getting the ball out fast, and that's going to happen again this week because this defense is good at rushing the passer. It is at getting pressures on the quarterback, and it's going to be in the game plan to get the ball out quick.
And they're going to do the thing that Jim Schwartz teams always do, which is play the run on the way to the quarterback, which basically means that the 4 down linemen are pass rushing every snap and pinning their ears back and going. And if they happen to tackle a running back on the way, great. If not, then they'll let the linebackers clean it up. And we've always struggled against Jim Schwartz defenses.
Yep.
And I think the big thing that we've always struggled with, not only is that the wide 9 and the play the run on the way to the quarterback idea and all that, but what he's going to do, and they're going to do it. They're going to stack the box against the run, right? They're going to play tight. They're going to make Rodgers beat them down the field, but they're going to play press man on the outside. So what they're going to do is basically say, okay, we're going to press your receivers to take away the short passes, and we're going to blitz you or have our, freak athletes on the line pass rush every play. And if you can get the ball into a window where that wide receiver can get it, we'll take our chances with it, because we think more often than not, either pressure is going to force a bad pass or you'll get sacked or whatever else will happen. But that's pretty much the game plan of a Schwartz defense.
That is the Schwartz defense in a nutshell. 8 guys in a box trying to cover whatever comes out. And if they lose on a couple downs, okay, they figure somebody will make a mistake later. Like they'll pressure.
So how do you beat the Schwartz defense, Ben?
You throw into the gaps in the middle and the seams, and you let your wide receivers run with the ball, and then it hopefully scares them enough that they start playing too high, which I don't. Schwartz playing too high is really rare. Like,
right.
I mean, really exceedingly rare. So I don't really expect that to happen, but maybe, you try and make them gun shy. But yeah, you throw into the short to medium area, in the middle and in the seams.
And as far as running the ball, how do you run the ball against that wide nine? Especially considering what Ian pointed out.
Outside zone.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Outside zone.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do, if we had the players to do it, which
run the
maybe
jet
we
sweep.
do, is
no, please God,
no, not the jet sweep. No, but you can actually throw screen passes because you let the lineman by and get your if we had the players to do it, right? You get your offensive linemen to block their linebackers. Mm-hmm. You get your running back behind their defensive line.
Yeah.
But you got to have the players to execute. And we have
especially
not executed screen passes since
Barry Foster.
I would say Eric Pegram, yeah.
If you can coax them into a weak side blitz and then run a screen, that could go for a long.
Yeah, and it's just about the execution of it.
40 yards, right. We're talking.
Yeah. Melvin's on the same page too, just thinking screen passes. So we kind of talked a little bit at the opening about Darnell Washington. He becomes obviously even bigger this week, having to deal with Myles Garrett, because I don't see us leaving Myles Garrett one-on-one very often.
No.
I mean,
well, they did last year, and he basically, Myles Garrett should probably write Dan Moore a thank you note for his Defensive Player of the Year award, because the way he cooked Dan Moore that season in 2 games was just, Dan Moore had a couple good games against Garrett when Garrett was hurt, but when Garrett was fully healthy.
Yeah, remember when Garrett played the Lions and he kept moving along the line before the snap, and the Lions moved 2 guys to shadow him wherever he went.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think, at the end of the day, that's what won it. That and his people believing in the fucking PFF pass rush win rate, imaginary stat, almost sack. Well, I almost had a sack. You didn't almost have shit.
Well, does TJ move around, or does he just fucking stay on the same side?
No, he doesn't, and I wish he would fucking move around. That's a really good point.
I'm being a dick, but
no, you're right, and I don't think that TJ. The issue there, I think, is Teryl Austin, and Austin mentioned that this week. He said Herbig has earned the right to be on the field, and it's my job now to figure out how to get him on the field. So theoretically, we're gonna see some.
Me too. They are.
We're gonna see some. Nice. We're gonna see some.
We're both
some 3 outside linebacker sets where we've got three pass rushers on the field at the same time, which would be fucking nice for a change. I'm just saying.
No, so TJ to Allie's point.
Yeah,
TJ has sides, but it's not. It is not what, based on what the coaches and TJ said. It is not what I anticipated.
It's not to that level.
Yes. So getting back to what they're going to do this week, I agree with you guys. I think it's going to be a lot of the still short game stuff. And I tweeted this earlier, and I think it is important. There are 30 quarterbacks that have thrown 100 passes this year. Aaron Rodgers is last in intended air yards and completed air yards. And I think that's important. Now, yards after catch has been big for this team, and I said it before the season. I said this team usually sucks when it comes to yak, and they need to yakety yak, don't talk back, and they have. They've done pretty well, but sooner or later they're going to have to learn to push that ball down the field, because this is reminding me of 2020. And I know the players aren't the same, but they're not going to be able to get away with that short passing bullshit the whole time, because teams are going to adjust to it.
No.
So, but this is not the week. This is not the week to do it. This is a good defense. Calvin Austin's probably not going to. Calvin Austin's not going to play.
No, he's not playing.
So you're right. Who is the So who is it? Is it Scotty Miller, Ben Skoranek gonna take the top off the defense? No, I don't think so. At least. So, this to me is where you want to get a guy like Muth involved. Like get out. That first game script. He doesn't have a lot on tape, but maybe get him involved early. 7 yards on first down isn't a bad thing.
No. And another point.
Do we have anybody besides DK who can take the top off a defense? Anybody?
Calvin Austin.
I mean, Austin
talking
can,
about
but
healthy.
he's not going to be available.
Healthy. Well, I mean, Roman Wilson is. Yeah, Roman Wilson. So,
I mean,
well,
no, I don't think he could do that. But
an interesting thing about
you need the offensive line to be able to give him time to be able to push the ball down the field. And I keep coming back to this, right? That the line, if until the line can hold up, I can't justify them letting Rodgers sit back there for 4 or 5 seconds while those downfield plays develop. So no. I think, and especially against the way Schwartz defenses play, that it's going to be a lot of single high safety. And like we said, with press man on the outside, you hit another one of those short slant routes or bubble screens to DK Metcalf and let him just, beat one guy physically off the line and then outrace everybody. That's not a bad play necessarily this week. And I agree, Washington,
no, it's not
Washington over the middle. If you're not throwing to Johnny Smith, you're not getting a lot of yak yards out of your tight ends. Like Freiermuth and Washington aren't going to get a lot of yards after the catch, but they can still at least they're good enough to get open, right? And that's what you need. So there is. It's not like this Browns defense is invincible, right? There is room to operate against it, but I think they have to be
super
smart.
Aggressive and you have to play that against them.
The keep in mind too, two things actually now. One, the Browns don't flip their corners. So in other words, Denzel Ward will stay on the same side. So how does Artie Smith get DK Metcalf away from him? And then secondly, which is a rather new development, the Browns traded Greg Newsome today, and they're bringing in Tyson Campbell from the Jaguars. And I think that was mostly a financial thing because Newsome was in his fifth year option year, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Newsome was not going to resign, and they knew it. So they tried to trade for a guy that they wouldn't have to resign next year, who is on an extension but hasn't played well since he got the extension. So the Jaguars were willing to part with him.
Yeah, and so
I don't think it's an improvement.
I don't either.
He's given up the third most yards in the league so far this year. He's also been targeted the third most of any corner in the league this year. That's the guy you want to run against. He's a physical corner, but you got a guy who's gigantic and DK Metcalf. Do you really care?
Right.
I don't even know if Campbell's going to get a hat this week, though. I got that, I don't know.
I mean, I'd be surprised. It's not like the Schwartz is as big as mine. The Schwartz defense isn't that complicated, at least in terms of coverage. The guys on the outside are just basically, they're on an island. It's like, hey, it's you and the guy in front of you, and you got to cover him. And by the way, you're probably not getting any safety help, so don't fuck this up. That's it.
As my ex-girlfriend used to say, ball is ball. So Casey's starting a little bit earlier.
Yeah, let's not steal any of Casey's thunder. Oh, shit. I mean, I just look at that aspect. I mean, who's going to play at that corner spot? I think Campbell will get a helmet, but to your point, Scarps, I'm not sure how much he plays. I assume he probably got into Cleveland this afternoon, and who knows if
the Browns made him drive from Jacksonville. That just sounds
that sounds more like a Bengals thing, quite frankly. The Bengals, what was the thing I saw about Flacco? Somebody
He was on like an economy flight.
Yeah, he
It was
flew
so
the
fucking-
economy on
I think
Spirit.
that was. I think
get
it
to
was.
Cincy.
I think that was bullshit. But okay,
It was,
I think it was an old picture. Yeah.
but it was funny as shit.
The one other thing I'll mention, since we're talking about the Browns defense, is if it was up to me, and it's not, but if it was up to me, I would seriously consider having Darnell Washington basically shadow Myles Garrett the whole game and basically serve as an extra blocker. If he lines up on the left, put Washington goes to the left. He lines up on the right, Washington goes to the right. If he comes to the middle, Washington lines up basically like a fullback. That, you basically make him go through Darnell Washington every play, in addition to another lineman, right? Like you're basically, yes, you're giving up an eligible receiver every play, but like Dan Velez did not do very well against Myles Garrett. Broderick Jones has struggled against everybody. Like, I do not trust Broderick Jones or Troy Fatanu on an island against Myles Garrett. Like,
against Myles Garrett, especially no, but
Absolutely
they're getting
not.
better each week. They're not. They're not.
They
They're
are.
good.
And
they're getting better.
I'm
but
glad
Garrett's,
that Dan.
Garrett's
I'm glad
just
that Dan
a physical
Moore is gone.
freak. Yeah, and
He is. And I mean,
yeah.
honestly, Myles Garrett, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a really good fucking player.
Yeah.
And
Kevin's absolutely right.
It's not going to be easy. I don't care.
Yeah. Kevin in the chat here is right. Like, we got to have a plan for him. It seemed like the last couple years against the Browns, we really didn't have a plan for Garrett. The plan was like, well, let's see what Dan Moore can do. And it didn't work out very well. And we got to have a plan. Other teams have a plan for TJ Watt. Sometimes it's three guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're allowed to plan too.
Titans fans are not enamored with the $20 million per year they spend on Dan Moore.
No.
I know, it's pretty damn funny though.
And totally agree. And if you're gonna sit here and be real about football and think that Myles Garrett's
keeping it real.
And Myles Garrett's not an all-pro. You're fucking crazy. Like, the guy is great. That'd be the same thing as someone saying that TJ Watt isn't great. Like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, and you're right. Like, they plan for TJ Watt. They got a plan for Myles Garrett, and you're absolutely right. They cannot hope that
hope is not a strategy.
That's a good call. They cannot hope that Broderick Jones or Troy Fuatanu is going to just, they're just going to dominate, because I don't think that's the way it is. But I would also say too that, and this, I don't know if we're still talking about this, but even though the Browns defense just lost a name, they don't necessarily have to have names other than Myles Garrett, because Schwartz is a good coordinator. And I always look at Steve Spagnuolo, because they have Chris Jones and they have Trent McDuffie, but like, who else do they have on the Chiefs? Like I know who they have, but like, the average fan isn't going to be able to rattle off a bunch of names. And I think that goes to coaching. So I get on Tomlin a lot for coaching. I get on Teryl Austin a lot for coaching, and Artie Smith.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Is Kevin Stefanski really that much better? Is Jim Schwartz that much better? I don't know. Go out there and win the game on Sunday, because you're expected to win and you should win. And this is not the time to not win.
Go prove it. Speaking of defense, let me flip over to our defense for a second, because we're not going to have Jalen Ramsey. He's out this week, possibly next week as well, especially since it's a short week with the Bengals having to go there on Thursday. What's
almost
that?
Certain.
No, he's almost certainly not. This week, in any case, you do get Joey Porter Jr. back. So, Ian, how do you think that the Steelers defense looks with no Jalen Ramsey?
Well, I mean, they do have Deshaun Elliott back, which helps at the safety position. That you don't have to swap Ramsey into a safety role. They'll pretty much, I think, roll with Thornhill and Elliott as the top two safeties, and then probably rotate in Chuck Clark if they want a third safety. Mm-hmm. And you got Eccles that can play on the outside, who's done a pretty nice job this year. JPJ should be back. So probably 2 defensive holding penalties and 1 DPI that we got to add into the Browns yardage for this game.
More than likely.
Yeah. So, he'll wind up holding like Jerry Jeudy or someone who, I don't even know who are the Browns receivers these days. Like Cedric Tillman got hurt. I don't know anyone on the Browns.
Isaiah Bond.
Yeah. So
he's got some wheels too.
He does have some wheels.
Yeah.
I don't think schematically they're going to change anything. It'll just be the players in the positions, but I don't think schematically they're going to change much because schematically they don't do a whole lot, right? It's cover 3, it's cover 1. They're not doing a lot of like different stuff.
They played some cover 6 against the Vikings.
Yeah, they played cover 6 when they completely blew the coverage on.
They did.
Jordan
Addison.
When they blew the coverage on that play, yeah, you're right. They were playing cover 6, motherfuckers.
Right. So the one thing I'll say though is when you've got a rookie quarterback like Dillon Gabriel, we could actually, try and disguise our defense a little bit because we're like the lowest in the league at disguise rate. That'd be nice to, try and mix it up a little and confuse the kid and not just be yeah.
Oh, it would be very welcome.
Not just run some fire zones at him and see if he, he gets confused by that.
Right. Yeah. Not just like hope that Cam or TJ makes a play. Like,
right.
A lot of our defense is based on hope.
Or YA Black.
If we don't get turnovers, we're in trouble. That is absolutely
absolutely right.
Turnovers have been a staple of this team's success. You know that. I saw a stat today that the Steelers defense has only taken away the ball 10 times to the Jacksonville Jaguars 14. Now, granted, Pittsburgh has had a bye already, but I still was surprised we weren't number 1.
Yeah, the Jaguars have.
Fuck you, Johnny.
Has entered the chat.
Fuck you, Johnny.
The other, I think it's since 2017. Since 2017, we're second in turnovers, and Buffalo's first.
Interesting.
Because you wouldn't necessarily think about Buffalo being first because it's the Bills, they're chronic losers, right? And give me Josh Allen right now. I don't give a fuck.
Shit, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Please. I even said the other day, and people were giving me shit. I'd take Justin Herbert right now in a fucking heartbeat. Absolutely.
Oh God.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
$1,000,000%.
That team, the rate he's getting hit at, dude, he's going to retire by the time he's 31.
It is, yeah.
Jesus.
He's like on that Luck level. He's like on that Andrew Luck level, right?
He is on that.
So,
the way Ben got hit early, the way Ben got hit early in the career that got Bruce Arians fired, it's way worse than that.
Yeah. And so anyway, point being is that I don't have a point, and I'm just gonna have a drink and fucking.
Here's a guy who lost his train of thought halfway through.
Ben? Do you think this could be the week that maybe Derek Harmon has a big week? He's kind of gotten his feet wet now. He had the injury.
He's made some plays.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's been invisible. I just wonder if
he's been all right. I don't know that he's going to have a big game this week because he's certainly not a starter yet. Not really. I mean, he's listed as a starter on the depth chart, but they're basically playing a 42 defense the entire game, and he's not one of the top 2 defensive linemen. So, he's going to play 45 snaps, and he'll make some contributions. A big week, maybe. I don't know. He'll get a bunch of pressures. He gets a bunch of pressures every week. What he's got to do is convert those into sack opportunities and actually close. Finish the fucking rep. But that's part of being a young player.
Was Scarps last week, was Benton's performance a big improvement, or was it more just right guy at the right time?
I mean, I want to give him credit for improvement, but also their offensive line was decimated by injuries. Like they did what they were
guard.
They did what they were supposed to do against. They did what they were supposed to do against some backups. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
they had guys go out, right? So Penton did what he was supposed to do. You're right.
Well, they finished. So somebody tweeted it out, and I don't remember that. But the Vikings' offensive line against Cleveland essentially finished like two guys that were considered third team, and I think two guys that were considered second team, and then maybe one first team guy. I mean, it was just amazing how bad they were off in terms of their offensive.
And they
line.
still won,
and they still got a dubs out of it.
And they still won. And they still beat a really, really fucking good defense. Yeah. So props to those guys because you're dead on. I want to say only guy that was supposed to start all year was the right guard.
Yeah, I think that's what I thought. It was interior, but
and I was like,
yeah, go ahead, Ian.
The other thing the Vikings did in crunch time was they got Justin Jefferson away from Denzel Ward because they realized that he wasn't switching sides. So they're like, oh, what if we got I'll say the best receiver in the league, but Jefferson and Jamar Chase are 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
Pick who you like, right? So what if we got the best receiver in the league away from their best corner? Wonder how that would go. And it worked out pretty well for them. So that was the other thing that we really need to. This is a game where, as much as I hate to say it because I rag on our coordinators so much, this is a game where schematics are going to matter a lot.
Yeah.
That, not just what plays you're calling or what your play design is, but where you're lining guys up and which side of the ball you're putting guys on. Are you putting DK Metcalf on Denzel Ward's side, or are you putting him on the other side? Or especially since they don't move their corners, it's something where the nitty gritty details of just like where you're putting guys on the field is going to matter so much this week.
Well, and can you motion him away from him, and if not, can you get him to the other side at pre-snap? I'm curious to see what Artie does in relation to that. And then you've of course got, and we alluded to it a little bit earlier. No Calvin Austin III. So is that going to mean more Skoranek? Is that going to mean more Scotty Miller? Does Roman Wilson finally get a lion's share of snaps? Right now, I think they're going to split it between Miller and Skoranek, to be honest with you.
I think it's going to be a rotation. I think so. If I had to guess, I think you'll see Skoranek on early down, specifically running plays. I mean, you can't go out there and project like they did a couple years ago when they had what's his name? Miles Boykin, right? Boykin. It was like every time Boykin was in the game, you knew it was a running play because Allen Robinson would come across the formation to Boykin's side, and you knew he was going to be the blocker on the edge. It's like there was no creativity. You knew exactly what they were running. You can't do that all the time. Like if you bring Skoranek in the game, you got to run a couple pass plays just to keep the defense honest a little bit. So I think I think Skoranek on early downs. I think Miller definitely on third downs. But maybe you mix in a Roman Wilson if you get stuck in like a second and long situation and you got to pass. And I think there's snaps out there for Roman Wilson to get. I don't think there's a lot of them, but I think it's going to be a rotation. And I think Freiermuth too. I think we might see some 3 tight end sets because let's not forget, you can split Jonnu Smith out wide too. Yes. You could put Freiermuth and Washington in line and split Jonnu out wide, or line one of them up like a fullback and put them in motion to go. There's things you can do with 3 tight ends as well.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, will Artie Smith do those things?
Right. That is the question. That is the question.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right, Ian.
Defensively, KR just posted a question, and he said, do we see Peppers on D this week? Interesting development over the bye. In so much as
breaking news.
Not breaking. This
damn.
is a week old. Corey Trice was designated for return over the course of the bye.
Yep.
There really wasn't an announcement. I discovered it by accident because I was trying to figure out how many guys were on injured reserve one day, and I was like, Did all those guys? Like Skylar Thompson's on injured reserve, and he went to Ireland and got mugged. Really? How many other guys are on injured reserve? Did they all go to fucking Ireland? Seriously? And I found
Will
out,
Howard did. I saw him on the sidelines.
Yeah, and I found out that Corey Trice had been designated for return, and I was like, okay. And then there was a cryptic tweet from Peppers saying, I wouldn't be who I am now if it wasn't for adversity. I wouldn't have gotten where I gotten without adversity. Then it was like, okay. So they let Peppers know they're going to cut him because Trice is coming back. Trice is practicing this week. So are they going to activate Trice on Saturday and cut Peppers? Is what I'm wondering. I don't know. I'm totally speculating. Nobody's saying shit.
Well, it's a fair thing to wonder.
It kind of feels like something's up.
Yeah. What do you guys think? By the way, I don't think we talked about this. Sebastian Castro getting signed away by Tampa Bay. Again, he's a practice squad player. I don't want to make this out that he was the next Troy Polamalu. That's not what I'm saying. But they really seem to like him. They seem to like him.
The Steelers are such idiots for letting him leave. The practice squad safety.
Again, that
was sarcasm, by the way.
Yeah,
listening at home.
I could sense. I was a little surprised, but and plus, what is it? The Steelers can like keep 4 guys on their practice squad who can't be poached. I believe that's the rule. And
you have the opportunity to sign a guy to your active roster,
right?
I think, but
if somebody else wants to,
yeah. But I don't know about the non-poaching rule. I thought if a guy was,
I don't think that's you like.
Okay, I thought I read that this last.
No,
week.
there are usually players will say, "Hey, I'd like to stay. I've got an offer from this team. I'd like to stay here though. But in order to keep that player, you have to sign him to your active roster.
Correct.
Or he's gone.
And at Tampa, he's got to be active rostered for what, 3 weeks?
Minimum 3 weeks.
Minimum of 3 weeks. So,
and then if he's activated, if the guys that go to the, every week, they grab some guy who's going to be a special teamer like Trey Sermon.
Yep.
And they make him active they put him on the active inactive list for the game against whoever, right?
Correct.
Those guys get paid full minimum salary for whatever their number of years of service is that week, right? So you get a big bump. And, practice squad guys make it's something ridiculous now. It's like $400,000 a year.
Yeah, it's a nice chunk.
Like if you play the whole season, you're making $400,000.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a nice bump if you get activated for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's great work if you can get it.
Yeah. Say when asks any trades for the deadline. The deadline is November 4th, I believe.
And trade Pat Freiermuth for a first-round draft pick so we can go pick a quarterback.
Yeah,
no, I don't know.
That'll work perfectly.
If somebody offered a first for Pat Freiermuth, that would be great.
No one's offering a first for Pat Freiermuth. I'm joking.
No one is. That is not happening ever. I don't think Freiermuth gets traded. People keep saying trade Freiermuth, trade Highsmith. I don't think either one of those guys are getting traded out of there. Highsmith has a guy behind him in Herbig who's really good at rushing the passer, but can't set the edge to save his fucking life. And until he learns how to do that, he's not getting promoted to outside linebacker.
Is it a matter, though, Ben, is it a matter of learning to do it, or is it just that he just doesn't have the overall size and strength to do it?
I don't think he's got the strength to do it personally, but it's both. It's also some technique.
Yeah.
I mean, TJ's given up size to those 330-pound tackles, and he can still set the edge, no problem.
That's true.
Hey.
Yeah. When I watch, I get why people are excited about Herbig. I mean, the motor is fantastic. The guy pursues the quarterback like a crazed animal.
Yeah, dude, he's great.
I do. I get that.
I mean, he might
KR in the chat understood the assignment.
Trade Pat Myers for an 8th round pick. I would be in favor of that.
I agree.
Of course, some of you youngsters out
let's
there.
trade him in a Permane sandwich for some of that spaghetti that they have in Cincinnati. I'm fine with that. Fine.
The youngsters in the audience would probably not know that the draft used to be like 12 rounds.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
It was 17 at one point, dude.
They continue.
Was it actually 17? I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll mention about trades is Mike Tomlin has a horrible track record of actually using guys that we trade for. Like, we've made trades and they just don't get playing time. Like last year, Mike Williams got a handful of snaps the whole year.
Yeah.
And Preston Smith got a little bit of action, but not a whole lot. Like, we traded for guys, and then Tomlin's like, oh, well, they got to get on a moving train and learn the defense or learn the offense. You know, at this point, like, honestly, I don't think we make any big trades because we just don't play those guys, right? Like, it's hard to get. It's not like hockey or baseball where you can trade for a guy at the deadline and plug them into your lineup and you're like, they'll figure it out. Like baseball, it's like, oh, well, he's going to bat fifth and he's going to
plug him right in.
Right. Swing the bat and he knows how to field and all that stuff. Right. Like baseball's super easy to trade guys, but football, and especially with Mike Tomlin teams, just over the years, he has just a bad track record of just not playing guys that come in late. So I don't think we make any moves here.
Scarps, what did you want to mention there?
No, we're good.
We're good.
Okay. Shit, I had what was it? Oh, before we get to predictions and Casey and stuff, there were some rumblings today that the Steelers are apparently in talks with, and Ian just left, and he knows this stuff as well as anybody, but apparently the Steelers are in talks with Allegheny and stuff about Acrisure
I need
Stadium.
another beer. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Yes, okay.
Let's talk about
Yeah, and the number that was thrown around was like they need $800 million to do a complete renovation of Acrisure, or put that towards something new. And look, the pressure is there. The Browns are moving out of the city. They're building literally a little tiny city around a dome stadium there in Brook Park, I believe it's called. The Bears are getting ready to do it. And so as much as I hate it, and I believe football should be played outside, I also understand the times. So I'm curious to see where this goes. And we've made jokes about it. You know, they're going to move up to Cranberry and all that shit. But I mean, they've got to have something in place by, 2030, I think. And I know a lot of people are sitting there going, well, that's 5 years. That's going to go fast. In the world of stadium construction and stadium renovation, that goes fast.
Yeah.
It does. So I don't know if you guys had heard anything about that, but I saw some rumblings of that today. Some of the radio stations were talking about it.
So how much public money do they want?
Too much.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean, what's the number? If it's $800 million, how much of the Steelers?
I don't know if it's necessarily that. I don't know.
I think that's a starting point, if you ask me.
So,
I mean, I think the Steelers don't own the stadium. Like, if they own the stadium, that would be one thing.
Yeah,
but they don't.
SEA, the Sports Exhibition Authority,
right,
owns the stadium. So, I know. Oh man, I'm a little drunk. I don't give a fuck right now. But
he's drunk on the tussin.
I know we don't like capitalism anymore. But
we don't.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Not a bad thing.
You look at the Broncos, and they're the Walton family.
Yep.
Who own Walmart?
Yep.
Am I right? Yes.
You are correct, sir.
And
they're not correct, sir.
They're not asking for For a second, I thought it was Michael Landon. Was that
No, that was my Phil Hartman doing Ed McMahon.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was Little House on the Prairie or the Waltons, Michael Landon. Anyway, I was like negative.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I was like -10 when that show was out. So whatever. The point being is that the new Denver Broncos Stadium is 100% privately funded, and
Right.
that to me means a lot because you're not asking the fans, you're not asking for your general taxpayer, you're not asking for anybody in the vicinity to have to pay for a stadium that they may or may not ever use. And I've been saying this for a long time on the show, and I know people think it's fucking blasphemy or sacrilegious, but like if they ever want to get a Super Bowl here, or they ever want to get a Final Four or something, you need to do a closed stadium, or at least a retractable roof,
At the very least.
something like that.
Yep.
I'm not saying you have to have it fully closed, but you need to be able to have that ability to do that, and
Yes.
you can't do that in the city. So.
Right. And I think that's ultimately what the discussions are right now. And I am glad, honestly, I'm glad to hear that they're talking about it now, because I would rather it was starting now than waiting till 2027 or 2028, which is just going to put them up against the clock even more.
Yeah. So one thing I'll say is,
okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Ian.
I'll say technically a season ticket holder. My parents have season tickets, but
yeah,
I'm an only child, so
they're yours.
They're yeah. So technically a season ticket holder. Last year they sent out a survey which was basically a lot of questions about like, would you pay money for all this extra shit? Right? Like,
yeah.
Would you pay? I think I sent you guys some of the questions too. That was like,
yeah, no, you sent us the survey and asked us to fill it out. And we were like,
yeah, it was like, would you pay thousands more dollars to sit in these like preferential seats that you get like, you know, free
mini
food
boxes
during the games, or mini boxes? Right. Exactly. So here's what I will say. If they want $800 million to upgrade the stadium, like I understand what modern stadiums cost. I understand that, like, you know, some of the modern stadiums are in the range of like $2 billion for a brand new stadium, top to bottom, right?
Yep.
Right.
So if they want that much money, I do hope they put some of it towards improving the stadium experience for the general fans, and not just for the super rich people or basically the corporations, because that's what it's become, right? It's become businesses that buy these things and take their clients to games, and then you basically get an atmosphere at Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium, whatever it is, that's very similar to the Super Bowl, where it's like it's more of a corporate environment because all these tickets go to the big money donors and they don't go to the regular fans anymore. So the people that are at the games don't even really care about the games. They're like, oh, like my business, I'm taking my business client to this game, but it's not like, and maybe it's my personal life experience, right? Like I grew up going to games at Three River Stadium. Like the guy that sat behind us was a mailman from Glassport, and like, you know, the people, like,
fantastic.
Fuck yeah, man.
yeah, you know, and like he was the best fan ever, and like it was him and his brother, and they had all these cheers they'd been doing forever that they like made up, and like it was awesome. And then even when we came to Heinz Field, like the people in front of us, like the one guy's an undertaker from Weirton, and there are all these old Italian guys from Weirton, and it's this like family atmosphere, right? Like I know these guys and their families, and they bring their kids and their grandkids and all this stuff, and my fear is that, like, if you pump $800 million into the stadium and all you do is improve the luxury boxes and make another section for, you know, the high paying people, like they did behind the end zone when they added more seats in front of the scoreboard and messed up the wind, so now it's easier to kick there. Like, okay, that improves that quote unquote improves the stadium. And yes, you can suck more money out of your ticket payers for things like that, but it doesn't improve the overall experience for the general fan. And if they're going to put that much money in, especially if they're going to get public money, I really want to see them improve the experience for the general fan.
Okay, Ben, go ahead. I know you wanted to.
I'm not going to disagree with any of that. I do agree with it because I'm one of those general fans. But the reality is that until there are enough economic cycles that bring that reduce the number of people going to the stadium, there's not going to be an emphasis on that. They're still going to emphasize the big money spenders until people stop going, or at least there are fewer people going.
That's
and then they'll suddenly go, oh, well, wait a minute. Maybe we should have enhanced the experience for those people too. Okay, well, I guess we'll do that. The point I was going to make before, though, was since we were talking about public money in stadiums and everything else, is when you look at valuation, and I don't think that capitalism necessarily is a bad thing, because the thing you get from capitalism is innovation. And innovation, from my standpoint, is a very good thing. Now, there are a lot of things about capitalism that people don't like. I get it. I totally understand it. There are some unintended consequences there that you don't necessarily agree with or enjoy. Got it. But the thing you get out of it is innovation. And it's things like Ian's talking about now, which is, bettering the fan experience is one of those things.
Yeah.
But making a better game, making a better experience for everybody in the stadium is another one of those things. But you look at currently the most valuable NFL franchises, and they all own their stadiums outright.
Yep.
They own them outright.
Yep.
And
Dallas, Denver.
Dallas, Denver, Los Angeles. And what they do is when football's not being played, they have other events in their stadium, and they generate a shit ton of revenue, which they can invest back into their stadium to make it even fucking better.
Yep.
And then people want to go there, and they're willing to pay exorbitant fucking costs to go to those stadiums. Face value for tickets at SoFi Stadium in LA is close to $300 for 500 level seats.
Wow.
It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
but people pay it.
Well,
People pay it.
Right.
And it's not just that. It's not just owning the stadium. It's owning the parking and everything else around it, right? That the Steelers own nothing, right? Like the Allegheny County City of Pittsburgh Parking Authority owns the garages. The Allegheny County Sports and Exhibition Authority owns the stadium. So the Steelers basically are getting ticket revenue, which they have to share with the SEA because of their lease agreement.
Right.
So they're not maximizing their revenue like other teams are. And this is why I've said for years, like, I would not be shocked if their next stadium's in Cranberry or Beaver County or something like that.
I agree, but alternatively, what they could do here is say, listen, we are going to finance this thing, but we want to buy the stadium. We want to own the stadium ourselves.
Yeah.
We want to own all of it outright. Right. And we want to build on this land as well. We want to build and create a convention center here. We want to have some other things that people can do. We want people to go inside and have pregame functions inside like they do in Seattle, for example.
Yeah.
And we want to take all that revenue. So before you go into the game, you're outside the game for 3 hours buying food and drink from us and hanging out with your friends.
Yeah, totally agree. And
I like the beer fountain suggestion, though. That would be a good one.
That'd be great. Just walk by,
wonderful.
Slide your glass under the fountain.
Kind of like a nacho fountain, but beer.
Yes, a beer fountain.
That's nacho beer.
That's nacho beer.
That's not your nacho cheese either.
Well, it's going to be a continued discussion. There's no doubt about it.
And to that point, though, like I think posted it on our Slack chat of like what the Ravens and the Falcons have done with like their in-stadium prices, that like they've like brought down the concession prices, the beer prices a lot.
Yep.
Which like that, I mean,
the Ravens and the Falcons, the Ravens are kicking our ass there, man. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Baltimore. God damn it.
It's not all about like what the beer costs, but like just everything else, like the cost of a hot dog, the cost of a pretzel. Like it's ridiculous what they charge at Heinz Field for food and drinks and everything else. So or Acrisure Stadium, excuse me. Heinz Field is in Aliquippa now. It's
Heinz.
By the way, the Acrisure company here, just north of me, just laid off 400 people. They'll be replaced by AI.
Ooh,
yeah. Just announced that this week. And on that note, let's talk more about predictions, and then we'll get to Mr. Casey Kasem. The Browns come in. It's a 1:00 kick on Sunday in Pittsburgh. Wow. Should be a beautiful fall day as of right now. Supposed to be a nice day. And who wants to start the predictions? Do I hear any volunteers?
I'll go first.
All right,
Ian. Last week I made you go with someone else when you called on me.
Okay.
So I was actually going to pick the Steelers to win, even though I know we've all unanimously picked against the Steelers the last two games and they've won them. Yes, so I was prepared to pick the Steelers to win 17-13.
Okay.
Until I saw a tweet from @ThePonyExpress.
Oh boy.
Who has a great track record of being absolutely wrong. And I will quote @ThePonyExpress. There's absolutely no way the Steelers lose to the Browns on Sunday. So given that tweet occurred from @ThePonyExpress, I am going to reverse my prediction and go Browns 17, Steelers 13.
Cleveland 17, Pittsburgh 13.
And I am partially doing this just because we have to pick against the Steelers.
I understand.
But I do not feel good about the fact that fucking Andrew Filipponi, who is always wrong, Pit Bayless of Twitter, said there's absolutely no way that we lose this game. So
could he just get off of fucking Twitter altogether? So we don't.
Well, hey, you know, it is what it is.
I mean, people got into his replies and asked him to delete it. They were like, "Please delete this, please."
So that's the power he has over people. Scarps, what do you got this week?
I got another rock fight. Let's just be honest.
I would expect nothing less, sir.
I got a rock fight. I think this game goes into overtime.
Oh my God. My ticker can't take it.
But I got the Steelers 19-16.
You're going to fuck it up.
Wow.
Really?
Oh.
Wow.
No, I'm not going to fuck it up. I'm going to get it right, and they're going to win 19-16.
Really?
If we actually lose this game, it's Ryan's fault for not.
Ryan's fucking fault.
Yeah, it's
for Scarps, I'd like to.
Asshole.
Well, anyway. Ben, what's your prediction?
I already tipped my hat and said I was picking them to lose because we've chosen them to lose and they keep winning. So I'm like, okay, well, let's go 0-4 again.
None of that shit matters.
It matters. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
I talked about the fact that the Steelers, are going to play the short passing game and try and establish the run and probably have a hard time running the ball against the Browns defense, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. But, Pony, that was awful. And I have read there's supposed to be some rain on Saturday night, which is going to be a softer field.
A little precipitation.
Oh, yeah, potentially, a little softer field out there, which slows down the track.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to go we're betting the under, which was 38.5 when it opened. I'm going to go Brownies 20, Steelers 17.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark feels free to predict however he wants because
Yes, I do. Scarps has
Scarps fucked
completely
it up.
taken me off the hook. I
Dick.
am going to go Steelers 20, Browns 17.
That's probably
That
what'll
was
actually happen.
My
Thanks.
pick.
Thank
right
you,
there.
Steel Dad, for the
Yeah,
faith. Finally,
Hey,
You're
I'm
a
the
my
hater.
pleasure. I was
I'm the
going with
hater.
them regardless.
If
But,
they lose, you guys, it's your fault.
Well,
Yeah, it's your fault if they lose.
it will
by the
be
way.
totally our fault. It will have nothing to do with what happens on the field of play. It will be our
Exactly. You guys
fault.
fucking
Yes.
jinxed them just like Pony.
Yes.
Well,
We
but-
had a
but-
thing going.
Yeah,
We had a thing going.
Pony is like it's almost like he doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, he
I mean, it's
matters.
just- he's wrong so
He's-
often. It's like
he's fucking mush from Bronx Tale. The dude is always fucking wrong. He's a goddamn jinx.
Put him
what a
in,
reference.
put him in a bathroom. Put him in the fucking
Put him in the
bathroom.
fucking bathroom. I don't want his money touching my money.
Just wait
Yes.
till it's 13-13 at the end of regulation. They both hit a field goal,
Yeah,
and then it's 19-16.
unbelievable. Is Casey
Dude.
Kasem available?
Oh, this is going to be amazing.
It is because there's been one topic that hasn't
If
been
it's a
mentioned
fucking
tonight. And I
overtime
know it's
game
coming.
for a Thursday game, I'm gonna be so pissed.
God, I hope not.
Casey is coast to coast. American Top 40. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week that was October 9th, 1985. Our favorite correspondent and non-ball knower, Ryan, is back with us again this week, and he writes, Dear Casey, I came here to do two things. Talk some ball and get drunker than Mark Sanchez in downtown Indianapolis. I'm not quite there because I'm not going to stab my Uber driver. Just when I thought the lowest point of Mark Sanchez's career was going to be the infamous butt fumble, he got more hammered than Ozzy Osbourne on the Blizzard of Oz tour back in 1980. Rest in peace, Ozzy. And rest in peace to Mark Sanchez's broadcast career. The dude was absolutely bombed out of his mind. I guess that's what happens when you play for the Jets. I've heard Justin Fields has already checked into the Betty Ford. Here we go. Speaking of bombed, Taylor Swift released her latest album, The Life of a Showgirl, which, not gonna lie, Casey, had me pretty excited at first because I assumed that Jesse Spano from Saved by the Bell and Gina Gershon were gonna get naked again in Las Vegas. Of course, I was mixing up Swift's new album with the movie Showgirls, which was just as much of a disaster. Casey, apparently this new Swift album was as disappointing as the Steelers' first round exit in the postseason.
Which year?
Even the Swift Davidians were like, I mean, I don't really like her that much. She even wrote a song about Travis Kelce's penis, which is called Wood. And I'm not talking about the verb, although he is clearly laying more wood than the lumber company of the Pittsburgh Pirates of the 1970s. That's right, Casey. I'm talking about 3 Cav Trav. Swift sings, Forgive me. It sounds cocky. He amatized me and opened my eyes. Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened my thighs. Casey, do you hear that? I'm pretty sure Bowie, Lennon, and Mercury just rolled over in their graves. What amazing songwriting that is. It's as if ChatGPT, Jasper, and whatever the fucking else AI is out there wrote that lyric. The good thing is the Chiefs are 0-1 since Taylor Swift sang about Travis Kelce's clam hammer. I'm going to throw up. That was funny. I'm proud of myself for that one.
Tremendous.
Perhaps her next album, she can cut a single about Andy Reid's other mustache. Or Harrison Butker getting pegged by Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, wow.
Casey, it's spicy AF in here tonight. Let's get back to the Steelers. The vibes are peaking. The aura is off the charts. The Rodgers hype is higher than Dr. DMT himself in the jungles of Peru after licking a rare tree frog. But there's still 13 more to go, and 13 straight for that matter. One game at a time. How will it end? Will we again spend our money for nothing? Well, Ryan, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars and keep tussing the roba. I'm sorry, keep your radio tuned right where it is. At number 1 this week, here's Dire Straits with Money for Nothing.
Oh, little Mark Knopfler on the guitar. Gotta love it. Outstanding. Another great show. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. And we couldn't do it without you. Love everybody in the chat. And
Thanks, guys.
those of you watching on X tonight, thanks to you as well. And hey, we'd love
make
it.
It fun.
Signed up to be a member here at SCB. We got a couple of pretty cool membership perks coming down the line here.
What am I doing? What do I have to do?
If you really don't have to do anything, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
If you guys listening or watching don't want to become members, that's cool. Just like the show and subscribe.
Just like and subscribe. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Believe me.
Please like and subscribe. And
I
tell
mean,
your
you can
friends
get a
we're
cameo
obnoxious.
from the impression of Casey Kasem.
Well, we're thinking of getting the real Casey Kasem out of the grid. No. In any case, we'll talk more. Hey, enjoy the game this weekend. The 1 o'clock kick. Thanks so much, guys. Make sure you check out the website, steelcityblitz.com. And as always, great job by Ian on the Whitfield High School football stuff. What are they, like week 6, week 7?
So we have a week 0.
Yeah,
so,
right.
So technically it's week 7 this week, but it's the 8th game of the year.
Okay.
So 3 weeks left in the regular season, then the playoffs. So we're getting down to it.
Getting down to the nitty gritty. So check
this is
that
when they
out and
tear up
everything
the field
else.
of
And
nines.
check us out on the socials and all that good stuff. So once again, thanks everybody. Have a great night. And as always, go Steelers.
Ravens suck. Not really, though. Don't believe it.
We've had some drinks.